Oh, hi guys. Welcome back to another Bourbon Santa video. Today, we're going to review Buffalo Trace Kosher Rye Recipe Bourbon. A lot of people are getting confused about this label. This is not a rye. They do have a straight rye that is available, and they have a wheated bourbon that's available. This is the rye recipe bourbon. So, theoretically, this should be a high rye mash bill. So it should be pretty close to mash bill number 2. We're going to find out. We're going to test it. I have poured here Buffalo Trace Kosher Rye Recipe Bourbon. And here on my little flight board, I've poured Stag Jr., regular Buffalo Trace, Eagle Rare, and Blanton's. And let's see, after we review this a little bit, see which one of these I think it's closer to. And we'll see what we find out. It'll be interesting. I can't wait. So, as you can tell, I've had a little bit of it out of this bottle, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far. Let's see how it goes today. Okay, one thing that I find about the nose on this bourbon is it's incredibly full and multi-dimensional. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I feel like it's a very round nose feel. It's caramel, it's brown sugar, it's slightly burnt brown sugar. There's a honey aspect. It's just so full. It's like it's giving you so much in a way of a nosing experience that you're not hunting for anything. It's right there. It's right there. There's a dark caramel, almost Werther's, but darker. I gotta tell you that this is probably one of the better non-cast cast strength. This thing's 47%, 94 proof. This is one of the better not cast strength bourbons that I've had so far this year. So let's go on the taste. The rye presence shows up. It absolutely shows up, and the presentation, the mouthfeel, the whole experience across your palate keeps changing. When you first take the sip into your mouth, you're getting hit with a lot of fruits, cherry, of course, and then, and vanillas, but you're getting a lot of dark fruit, and the experience keeps changing. Then all of a sudden you get hit with the rye impact, and you're like, oh, well, there's some spiciness here, and then it goes to a whole different level as you're going through, the experience. Oh yeah, it's dark cherry towards the end of the palate, and then you get a little bit of a Kentucky hug, just a little. It's not big, it's not aggressive, it's not punching you in the stomach. It's really just an enveloping, really nice experience. I said earlier in the whiskey group that if Buffalo Trace can make this, why are they making some of the other things? And we're gonna get to that in a few minutes. It doesn't feel young to me. I don't get any of the youthful notes. I'm not getting any of those green youthful notes. It's all dark and sweet and full and just beautiful. I can't recommend this stuff enough. If you find a bottle. Now, let's talk pricing. I am finding these from anywhere from $65 to $139. I'm seeing them in the 129s, 126s. If I see it at $165, I'm buying every one of them on the shelf. If I see it at $129, I'm not buying it. This isn't. I won't buy Stag Junior at $129. Most I pay for Stag Junior is like $99 for me. So, I don't think this is worth that. If you can find one under $100, and that's as good as you're gonna see, then I would say go ahead and grab it, because it really is that good. Having one of these on the shelf is a game changer. So let's compare it to some of these other guys. Let's compare on the nose to each of these and see, in my opinion, which of these other typical Buffalo Trace products beat this. Now, Stag Junior's got a distinct advantage being cast strength. So we're going to start with Stag Junior and see what we think. Now, this is Stag Junior batch 12, which is, in my opinion, one of the best batches of Stag Junior that I've ever had. So, I wanted to pull out the best and see how they compare. Okay, you can definitely tell that this is higher proof. You can definitely tell that this has more going on, the Stag Junior does. But the Stag Junior is also sharper and a little more aggressively edged is the way I would put it. This is round and pretty and really smooth transitions from one flavor to the next. Strangely enough, I'm almost getting a buttered popcorn note on the Stag Junior Batch 12. I don't think I've ever gotten that note before. But going back and forth between these two, I'm distinctly getting an odd buttered popcorn note from the Stag Junior. I like it, but I've just never noticed that before. So now let's go to BT, regular Buffalo Trace, and compare it to the Kosher. Okay, regular BT is so much thinner, so much less going on. It's paper thin compared to the Kosher. The Kosher, on the nose, the Kosher blows BT away. Blows it away. Now, some of these are obviously mash bill number 1. Some of them are mash bill number 2, like the Blantons. And so once we get down there, I think we should notice more of a similarity between the Kosher rye recipe and the Blantons. We'll see once we get there. This is Eagle Rare. I gotta tell you, I almost like the nose better on the regular Buffalo Trace than on Eagle Rare. I find Eagle Rare to be kind of a letdown. It's a 10-year-old bourbon. It should knock things out of the park, but it's just a solid daily drinker. And here, I never see Eagle Rare for under $35. Now, that is rare. That's when I'm hunting a wide area. Typically, Eagle Rare is anywhere from $50 to $100 here, which is asinine for Eagle Rare. I found this one for $36 out in the middle of the state when I was driving through last weekend. So at $36, I'm gonna grab it because I knew that I had this review coming up and I wanted to compare it to Eagle Rare just to see where it falls in the Buffalo Trace lineup. I find Eagle Rare to just be thin and just standard. In this moment, I'm actually enjoying the youthful note that I'm finding in the BT, in the Buffalo Trace, because it's adding a different dimension, and I'm actually finding that I'm enjoying that more than Eagle Rare right now, because it is thin, but it's not paper thin with just really being one-dimensional. All right. Now we're into mash bill number 2. Let's compare that with this rye recipe. This should be the closest to the Kosher. Okay, now I am picking up more rye here than I am in these 3. Now, the Kosher is 1 proof point higher than Blanton's. Blanton's is 93. This is 94. So they're exactly the same, perception-wise. I gotta tell you, I like this nose, the Kosher nose, better than this Blanton's. And this Blanton's is the honey barrel Blanton's that I love, that I've talked about in a previous video. This is the 2020. This one's barrel 219, and it was on Rick number 20. In a future video, I'm going to do a twin sister Blanton's. I found this one is barrel 219. I found barrel 216, which was also on Rick 20. So they were literally 4 feet apart from each other during their entire maturation process. So we're going to compare those two Blanton's and see the difference. 2 barrels literally within 4 feet of each other in the exact same part of the warehouse makes. It's going to be a fun video. Watch for that one coming up soon. But comparison-wise, this is giving me a green youth note. It's giving me that evergreen rye note that I get on things that are high rye. And on this, on the Kosher, that rye note is buried under so much caramel and in it's a chocolate note, but it's not really, really dark. It's almost a milk chocolate note that's burying that rye. It's there. It's like there's a little sprig of evergreen in the dark chocolate, or milk chocolate, excuse me. Okay, so as of right now, on the nose alone, Kosher beats everything except for Stag Junior Batch 12 in this lineup. Stag Junior Batch 12 has just got a little more going on, but it's also got that more aggressive, more bitey aspect to it because of being such high proof. So now, let's go through A-Bing these things on the taste. Refresh my palate a little bit, and let's go Stag Junior. Okay, Stag Junior is so much more aggressive. It's got a lot going on. And as everyone in my channel knows, I love Stag Junior Batch 12. That is a magical bourbon. But it's aggressive. It's a stand up and take notice kind of bourbon. It's not one that you can just, hang out and drink Russo pours of all night long. You're sipping that, you're tasting it. This keeps up with the big flavors and the changes in your perception throughout your tasting experience without that huge punch, without that huge alcohol boost. I would love to see what this tastes like at cast strength. Holy crap. That would have to be amazing at cast strength. I'd love to try that. Similarities wise, Stag Junior and this aren't super similar. I think that this has definitely a different mash bill than Stag Junior, and I'm sure as we go to Buffalo Trace and Eagle Rare, the difference is going to be even bigger. All right, the BT is paper thin in comparison to both of these. It's super one-dimensional. It goes down like water. BT is easy. That's an easy beginner's bourbon for anybody. Eagle Rare has a little more barrel funk on it. A little more of that char is showing through. A little more oak, of course. This is all sweet, candied. Ugh. Ugh. Some of that oak bitter shows through on the taste. It's just older BT. That's all it is. It's BT with a little more oak impact, a little more oak tannins. Blanton's Honey Barrel. Dang, this Blanton's is great. Okay, this Blanton's is the closest to the Buffalo Trace Kosher out of these four, which makes sense. Mash Bill 2 is the higher rye mash bill. But at Buffalo Trace, the difference between their low rye and their high rye is a few percentage points. It's not a lot of rye, even in their high rye version. And I honestly don't find a ton of rye in this kosher rye recipe. It's there. It's definitely there. Most bourbons have a little bit of rye, so it's not surprising to find a little. But it's so well-rounded, so enveloping, it just makes your mouth water. If you can find Buffalo Trace kosher rye recipe for a decent price, grab one. Until next time, have a great day.